Hi, my name is Josie, and this is my showsy.
Hey everyone, and welcome to an all new Mental Health Monday with me, your host Josie at Aw Come On Josie. No, wait, it's Monday. If you haven't watched The X-Files yet, stop, pause, rewind, whatever you need to do, and watch The X-Files. Now, if you've never seen The X-Files at all, watch all of it, every season, every episode, and then come back and watch my web series. Go ahead, take your time, it's fine. I'll be here. Did you watch The X-Files? Okay, good. If you didn't watch The X-Files, seriously, stop. Watch The X-Files. Thank you. Okay. So in this episode, I really want to get into some of the misconceptions about autism because I get people asking me the most ridiculous questions sometimes, and people think some very strange things about autism. So I'm just going to get into some today, the most common ones, honestly. So here we go. You're autistic, but you don't look autistic. For real? Like, we don't have a look. Like, there's not like a flashing sign across our foreheads that's gonna say, I'm autistic. Autism is a spectrum, much like sexuality or gender even. We don't all fall in one place. It's not so easily put into a box. Autism is very complex, and each autistic person is very different. I don't look like any of my autistic friends. My autistic friends we don't all look like each other. I mean, we might have some similarities and features, but that's just random. Just like you might look like one of your friends and be confused as siblings. We're not all alike. Get over that misconception, please. So are you like Rain Man? Are you like super good at one thing? No. No. There are some people who are like savants and do have one particular skill or interest, but a lot of the autistic individuals I know, we have many interests. We might have a few very strong interests. Like for me, I'm sure my friends can name 5 things that I'm obsessed with on top of their head. Star Wars, dinosaurs, American Horror Story. If we're not getting into actors and actresses, that is, because if we go into actors and actresses specifics, that is one thing. Sociology and archaeology or anthropology. Like, those are just random, like things about me. Cooking too. So if I were to say one thing, it could maybe be cooking, but that's just one tiny part of me. That's like asking any person, do you have only one particular thing you're good at? Like, yeah, there might be like tennis stars, but like there's more to them than just their tennis, you know? Like, stop with the boxing. Stop because you saw one movie about autism. You saw one movie about autism. I mean, just get over that. If I was a savant of anything, it would be cooking. Because look at this beautiful, beautiful berry crumble. I also made amazing cauliflower mash. Oh, let's not forget, I did also slow cook some killer freaking ribs. So yeah, I do have skills and talents, and this is stuff I like made from scratch. Like, I just make food a lot of times off the top of my head. So that's something that people could say is savant-like or like Rain Man. But no, I don't like name like states or anything off the top of my head, or no dates or anything. There are autistic people, again, that do have that skill. I have that skill with Star Wars, to be perfectly honest. You could ask me any question about Star Wars and I could answer it. But see, that's cooking, that's Star Wars, that's multiple things. I know a crazy lot of information about dinosaurs, like off the top of my head. I know insane amounts of information about both the Elizabeth Short murder and the Manson family, like even like their birth dates and stuff like that. Like, see, it's so hard to just box myself into one category, and when people do that for me, it's kind of like like a, not like a midlife crisis, but like a meltdown, because it's like, wait, am I supposed to box myself into one thing? And no one is supposed to box themselves into one thing. So again, with the whole boxing, autism is a spectrum. It's too big to put into such tiny labels and jars and things. So people need to stop doing that. And that's one of the biggest misconceptions about autism, is that it can be so neatly packaged, because it really can't. You have autism, but you talk? I talk all the time. A lot of times it's just via text. A lot of times it's online or it's through email, because I can't properly verbalize. But just because I'm autistic doesn't mean I don't want to socialize or talk. It just means it's difficult for me sometimes. And I'm what's considered high functioning, but I think that that's, I don't like using that term, because functioning can't be described for autistic people as just like, like one thing, because some days I might be low and some days I might be high. So to label me as high functioning it's not fair, and it makes other people look like they're lesser. Like to say someone is low functioning because they may function better than me in other ways. So I don't like to say high functioning to describe myself completely. I might use that to describe myself on a day, and I am high functioning verbally. So I am able to talk and verbalize, but I do have great difficulty looking people in the eye. You probably noticed I have a great difficulty even looking at the camera. I have difficulty speaking. I slur my words, stumble over words, mix up lettering. I hate small talk. I loathe small talk. So unless you want to talk to me about direct subjects and know exactly what you want to get to, or you want to talk to me about dinosaurs or Star Wars or American Horror Story, or hell, even elephants and alpacas, man, I'm down with that. But don't give me that small talk. But obviously I'm fine with talking and socializing, and that is a big misconception with autistic people. You have tattoos, but you're autistic. Sorry, I didn't know that tattoos were only for people who are able, like disabled people aren't allowed to have tattoos, or people who are different minded aren't allowed to have tattoos. Didn't know that was a neurotypical thing. Thank you, everyone who's ever said that to me. You're awesome, not your dick. That's really, really ignorant for someone to say. If you ever question why I have tattoos, question why anyone does. I mean, like, it's a human right. It's my body. I'm allowed to do what I want. And for me, flashback to when I said I don't like small talk, my tattoos are actually a way to get me to talk, because there's stories behind every single tattoo, and every single tattoo that I have on my body helps me to tell who I am or about events in my life. And so that's the reason I started getting tattoos, and that's the reason I continue to get tattoos. They're a form of expression for me when I'm not necessarily able to verbalize. Why do you rock? Why do you move your hands? Why do you move your head like this? I mean, I can't even think of all the stims that I do. But people are always like, why do you do that? It's weird. You need to stop. But they never stop to think that what's comfortable for them isn't comfortable for me. And you should honestly always think that just because something's comfortable for you doesn't mean it's comfortable for everyone else. And it's honestly pretty hurtful when people are in my own home or in my presence and they say things like that. Oh, Bryn, you're quite rude. He doesn't have his vest on, so it's playtime, so he's being extra rowdy. Thank you, sir. Anyway, Mr. Reindeer Moose Man, it's really rude for people to have me, like, quell who I am, or my stims, or, noises I make, or things that I do just because it makes them uncomfortable, because they're basically making me stop being who I am to make them comfortable. So it's really hypocritical, like, you have to change who you are for me, but they're not willing to change who they are at all for me. So it's like you have to meet a compromise. Like, I've spent a long part of my life being ashamed of the things that I do, and now that I'm over 30, I'm finally accepting that I do things, or I make weird movements with my hands, or noises, or I rock any moment that I can, or I suck my tongue, or I sleep with a blanket. These are all parts of who I am, and I shouldn't have to change these things that help me self-soothe and are expressions of my excitement and genuine joy, or my fear that help other people understand me. I shouldn't have to quell that in order to make anyone comfortable, and I shouldn't be made fun of either, just because people may not understand it, because I'm not going to understand every little bit about you, but I'm going to try my damnedest to try and understand that and try and make you comfortable. And, if we can't find that compromise, then we probably shouldn't be friends, because that's one thing. If you can't handle someone who's autistic and handle their quirks and stuff, then you don't need to stress them out by being such a negative force in their life. Like, either try to understand them or don't try at all. Like, just why even bother if you're not gonna truly understand and accept your friends to even be a friend in the first place? Like, come on. But you look pretty normal. Why do you have a service dog? Or the other one I get is, why is your service dog so small? That I'm going to actually save for the next Mental Health Monday, where I'm going to do a whole segment on this little dude, Mr. Ober Martel, my service dog. And we're going to talk about all the different tasks he performs for me, and why I got a service dog, and why I did choose a small dog. Remember that service dogs come in all shapes and sizes and perform different tasks. He is primarily a pressure therapy task dog, and also an autism therapy, or asthma, therapy dog. He is an autism therapy dog, but an asthma therapy dog, so he actually detects asthma attacks and autism meltdowns, and he's freaking awesome. I'm fine right now. You think I'm gonna melt down? He thinks I'm gonna melt down because I'm getting stressed about editing this video. He knows how stressed I am. I'm fine. But yeah, so tune in next time, and we'll talk about Over in here, and we'll have him in his vest and working and showing you guys all sorts of awesome stuff that he can do. If you have any more questions about autism or any other misconceptions, I am going to do another part to this and talk about other misconceptions people have about autism.